Again, love others, thanks again for tuning into yet another video. We are getting ready to test ride the Springfield. So this is the direct competitor of the Road King, the Special. Presuming this is a dark horse. Yeah, Indian Springfield dark horse. That is their special lineup, if you guys aren't aware. That is how they distinguish their models between the Special and their standard. I can't never reach the what's it called, the kickstand on these things. I'm not entirely sure what is going on with this. There is no there's no TFT display on this. Just a little bizarre. How do we know what riding mode are we in? Does this have riding modes? I don't remember. So we have a 5.5 gallon tank on this, 126 foot-pounds of torque. It's got the 116. Minimal display and stuff like that. But man, this, do I not remember correctly? Did I somehow make a mistake? This does not have riding modes? I guess not. Alright, so we have the Thunderstroke, of course, the 116 in this, blacked out with premium black finishes. It's a dark horse. Dark horse has all the blacked out components, kind of like the Special, like I already mentioned. You have the mid-rise ape hangers. These are not as tall as the I'd say the Road King. I'm not sure, maybe it's the angle of the bars, but they do feel a tad bit lower. They feel just a little bit lower compared to the Road King. So we have the 19-inch wheels. They're beautiful wheels. We have a 2-up Rogue seat. These seats are always comfortable on these Indians. That's what I've always noticed on these bikes. The seats on the touring models are really comfortable. So let's go ahead and look at some other features here. We have, yeah, it does have ride modes. How do you change the ride modes on this? There's got to be a switch. I should have asked. You have something here with a lock. How do you change the ride modes? Man, that is just unfortunate. I won't be able to figure out how to put this in sport mode. Yeah, I remember these do have a ride mode, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something going on. So what is this? Alright, so we won't be able to figure out the ride modes. But so far, because of the angle of the handlebars, I am leaned forward. My arms are fully extended, which is, quite nice. Maybe I'm just seated a little bit too back on the seat. Nope, it's not that. The seat has a wall, so it grips you quite nicely. Like I said, the seats on these are always really comfortable on all the touring models. And like always, man, these bikes are nimble for being over 800 pounds. I've always mentioned this in the videos. Always. The last 3-4 years that I've been riding these Indians, something's shaking. The fuel tank is, what's going on? Is this normal? The fuel tank seems to be moving more than the actual bike. I don't know what that is. It just caught my eye. I'm over here communicating and I'm seeing the fuel tank do this, moving left and right like this, and I'm just anyways, where was I? Yes, how nimble these bikes are. I mean, they're just well engineered. They're well engineered, all of them. I'm just really impressed. Whenever I throw a leg over one of these touring models, we're talking about the Challenger, the Springfield, the Roadmaster, the Chieftain. I'm just always impressed how well the bike handles, being 800 900 pounds. Really, really impressive. So far, the triangle on this, I am leaned a little bit over the fuel tank. Just a little bizarre, considering that, you know, it's a touring model and you have the forward controls, you have the long floorboards. I've always liked the floorboards on these things because you can always move your feet wherever they're comfortable. Look, I have a mid control feel to it just by, you know, moving my feet back, and the floorboard is still at my heel. So I really like the floorboards on these bikes. And then of course you would always have to shift your foot up when you have to you know, shift the bike. So man, so far I mean, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just, I don't know, but I really feel like I'm extended over the fuel tank when I really believe I should be a little bit more upright, a little bit more comfortable on the bike. Maybe it's the dark horse option. Maybe it's the dark horse. They had the classic, the Springfield, I believe, last year, and I don't really remember being this kind of far forward on the bike, or this, you know, extended on the bike. But overall, the triangle feels pretty good. It feels all right. There's a low tire pressure indicator turned on, so I'm hoping that's just a little bit of a glitch, because that is gonna suck if something happens and we're going at highway speeds. So let's see what this does. What is this? Does that change anything? I'm still trying to figure out the riding modes. I don't see anything here. That's the cruise control. I don't know. Maybe this is just an old model that they're still lugging around. But I don't see any ride modes on here. I remember last year there's a light on here. I don't see anything, and I don't see anything being done. But you have right here, it says right here, ride modes: Tour, Standard, and Sport. You also have a rear cylinder deactivation on this bike, and that's one thing that a lot of the people in the comments pointed out 2 years ago. The Softails have have the oil coolers. Right, you don't have oil coolers in these 116s. I believe on the touring models you do. I believe you do have the oil coolers. I just saw it on the Chieftain, and it had an oil cooler. I don't know if this has the oil cooler, but I believe some of the touring models do have oil coolers on them. So let's go ahead and just lean into this turn here. Good clearance overall. I mean, it is a cruiser, guys. It's not it's not a sport bike. You will end up scraping every, once in a while. But man, this guy's a little bit more aggressive, which is quite nice. The guide, that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, it really gives you the opportunity to kind of lean into that turn, and shifting on this is quite nice. Very smooth shifting, good overall sound. We are riding with stock pipes, so keep that in mind. All right, the exhaust could sound a little bit better, but it does have a single pin crank. It is the 116 air cooled Thunderstroke, so it's gonna sound like a Harley. And having of course the push rods, it's gonna pretty much feel like an air cooled V-twin. So it's got that feel. It's got that American cruiser feel. And once you put the exhaust in it, it's gonna have that sound as well. That the single pin crank that a lot of these bikes are known for. So let's go ahead and clean up a little bit. This guy has a kid in the seat, so let's go ahead. Oh, didn't see that guy next to me. So all right, anyways, getting back on to the full price of this, you guys can see it's $24,000 because it's got the quartz option on it, the color. It's $24,500. It's pretty much in line with the Road King. That's what I've noticed so far right now, looking at these stickers on the fuel tanks, the demo stickers. I've noticed that they probably increased their prices to kind of match with what Harley's doing on their lineup. Obviously, Harley has a surcharge on their bikes, something that they leave out on the MSRP. I believe for the touring models, it's $900 surcharge. On the Softails, it's $600. I don't know if Indian's doing. I believe they are doing it now this year. I did notice some type of a surcharge on their website, and that's just something that, you know, they're doing so they could advertise a lower MSRP without actually, you know, increasing supposedly the prices on paper. It's just, I don't know. I mean, you guys can let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about these practices, having these MSRPs at, you know, at a lower price, and then, you know, once you get to the back end of the deal, you start seeing that the manufacturers have these surcharges. And it's normal as far as the freight, California emissions. Of course, you have to add an extra $250 because we are in California. So some of these, of course, some of these are expected. Like I said, you have, you know, your registration, your fees, your dock fees, and your taxes. You know, that stuff's not, of course, calculated into the MSRP. And then now with the recent, you know, inflation and what's going on with, you know, I'm not supposed to say specific words because, of course, it's all censored. You'll get shadow banned and stuff like that, or you might get a strike against the channel. So I'm just gonna say, you guys remember what we went through, the lockdowns. Okay, so post lockdown, we have, of course, shortages on semiconductors. You guys saw Harley had a few stoppages because of the brake lines that they couldn't obtain and assemble, of course, their bikes. So they had shortages, they had a stoppage. The factories stopped manufacturing bikes, and due to, once again, you know, the supply chain. So you have inflation and you have a shortage of goods, supplies, materials, and all of that. Of course, that's all calculated in this surcharge BS that we'll probably never see get taken off. I mean, that's usually what happens. These prices went up, prices go up, and they never come down. They just go up at a slower rate. So that's just something else that I mentioned in my street ball video. The street ball for a long time was a $14,500 bike. Now, with the new price and the surcharge, the street bob in 2023 is now a $18,250 bike now in 2023, which sucks because, you know, a lot of people were waiting, seeing, you know. And then of course you also have the rates are increasing, so there's people out there seeing interest rates of 24%, which is, it's crazy. If you're buying a bike 2023 and you're financing it at 24%, there's something wrong with you. All right, get a credit union, go through all the other alternatives, see if you can get a better deal. All right, that's the one thing I always tell people before they go shopping for these bikes. Get a credit union, get pre-approved. You have 30 days with that loan, with that approval. You have 30 days. You can shop around, and I was able to save about 4% off of my loan, off of, you know, having that tool, that credit union. Saved myself quite a bit of money. So anyways, back onto the bike, the 2023-2024 Springfield. I mean, these bikes are not going to change for 2024. We're already in September. The 2024s are right around the corner. Right around the corner. They're not going to do much. Rumors have it right now for the 2024 lineup, we're probably looking at a new FTR, and we're probably looking at a new Scout. All right, let's open her up. That is, that's fun. I only wish I was able to put this in sport mode. I'm pretty sure this thing will just rip in sport mode. Because like I said, I've test ridden all the other bikes, all the touring models. I've test ridden everything, and the riding modes really make a difference on how the bike feels and performs and responds. So of course there's a lot of wind noise. There's a lot of wind. I am doing it. Wow, this guy's really blending. This guy's really getting on the gas. I don't know if you guys can hear me. But yeah, there's obviously a lot of wind noise, and I mean, we don't have any wind protection. Just like the special on the Road King, they don't have a windshield. They did have a standard, but they discontinued the standard in 2023. So the 2023 standard did have the wind, or if it's a standard, I believe it's a classic or a super limited or something like that. But yeah, the windshield will make a difference in noise and buffeting. Not a lot of buffeting though, to be honest. It's just a lot of wind on the head. I'm leaning forward. It's on the chest, of course. Obviously, it's everywhere. So it's what a bike should feel. The rawness of a motorcycle, the rawness of the wind, the open road, cruising. It's just that you will get more fatigue at the end of your ride. So yes, I mean, you might not feel the fatigue from not having windshield in these short rides, but man, I could tell you, right in the touring on my Sportster, after I'd say, and we're talking about, Highway 5, where the winds are just out of control, high winds on a small bike without wind protection. It was brutal. After 30 to 40 minutes, I was ready to take a break, and I welcomed the 3.5 gallon tank on the Sportster. Smaller tank, so you have more stops, but those stops really count when it comes to not having wind protection like you do on them. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more videos. Life's a risk. Get out there and ride. Later.